We deal with the child whatever way we want, because the child is playing in our hands. Whatever frustrations we have, we take it out on the child. The child is helpless. But all this is creating disturbances. So in the same way, if I told you he'll cry, he wants to wear that yellow, he'll keep on crying. So this is one deviation you are creating in the child. If you are calling the child stubborn, who has created the stubborn attitude? You. In the same way, the child has this thing, he has a rhythm, pace for working slowly. But we say, go on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Again, you're creating problems. In the same way, the child wants to do something, and you leave him to do that, but you do not guide him. That thing is difficult. Again, children, bullying all the time. Bullying means bossy, dadagiri. Bullying all the time, hitting others, messing up with things, making the house a mess, shouting, fighting, making up problems for you, and you occasionally get. But the child was having those weaknesses which had come out initially into defects of the strong child. Beginning, if you remember Ishan, he was hitting others. Those are defects of the strong child, bullying. But then there are defects of the weak child also. Mother is upset. What to do? And we, all of us, at one time or the other, we are fugitives. We run away from the problems of life. When there is a difficulty, when there occurs a problem in your life, and instead of facing that problem, you keep on hiding in the pillow, you keep on lying in your bed, hiding your face in the pillow, and you keep on thinking things are going to get all right. Let's see. You are running away from reality. You have to get up and face the world, community. And one day, even your head is going to say, if anyone wants to say, see how a class should behave, go and watch Miss XYZ's class, and you will see how the children behave. So please, when you're doing this course, when you're doing this workshop, try to understand the psychology of the child, try to understand the systems of the child, try to understand the philosophy, and believe me, people are going to marvel at you and your children. Thank you.
So simple. I mean, you don't have to take him to a doctor, and you don't have to feel that why my son, why my daughter, why he has been deprived. It is only for the child, it's like work or die, and that's a big statement. So and you have understood that what is norm deviation, and there how many forms of deviation? One is the runaway, farar, you goes into, and then the worst is the barrier. When you block off someone, your parents are telling you, Ali, pack away the toys, and Ali is least bothered. He's not even listening to you. He's not responding. That's yet. So as I said that in the beginning, that Montessori teachers kindly be prepared mentally and physically to handle all sorts of children, because they do come to the school with unlimited type of deviations, and deviation can be cured. It's not the end. Physical deviation is of course very easy to see. If somebody is not able to walk properly, if they have a problem in the eyes, or if some feature is something, and you can go and get help and go to the doctor. But mental deviation, we don't even know. Okay, if this is wrong or right. We think children are always noisy. Children are always jumping. Children are always shouting. So that's the normal attitude of children. But according to Montessori, a normalized child who can, in her own word, explain one or two qualities of a normalized child. Let's hear you. Yes.
The child listen the actions, listen the talk of the other person, and do the work. It is a normalization of the child, and feel something and give the actions in a positive way.
Okay.
Reacts and responds. That's not possible. The child reacts.
According to you, the normalized child is?
It reacts to the surrounding, responds to the surrounding positively, which is the normalization.
Okay, lovely definition of normalization. They are able to take instruction, they are able to choose freely, and you can see it. Being overactive is not normalization. Sitting down calmly with concentration and doing something, they are always active, because children have energies, and there are two types of energies. Remember this, there are two types of energy. One is physical, the other is mental. And there has to be a 50-50 balance between the two. 50-50. The moment the balance is uneven, suppose one is 49 and the other one is 51, up and down, just like a weighing machine, then deviation occurs. So the child's mind is saying that I want to color. The mind is giving that command, 50% of it. So the other 50% is that he should be given a piece of paper and a crayon and pencil and let him color, and then no problem. But the mind is saying I want to color, and the adult is saying no, go and do your homework, go and do something, go to sleep. All decoration and all that, but the whole T is there for culture. And culture is a subject, and then it has 8 different subjects. So we shall be focusing on its the subject itself, with little demonstration, artwork, music, and so on. But what you have to do in culture, and do get guidelines from the teacher, they're there to help you. Basically culture, apart from, and previous years we've had wonderful things. Some of the examples that has been there for culture, you may show a typical Muslim wedding, some group, and you get ample time of the branches to go into detail, as far as like they have the first the Mayu ceremony, then the Mehndi and the wedding and the walima and so on. Then why culture means like covering the whole world also. So in your file you do that, you do religion of one, not only Islam but Christianity, Hinduism. So you may show the wedding ceremony of how Christians get married, how Hindu people get married, how they celebrate their religious festival. We give gifts to everyone. Then of course some of the festival that is celebrated by Hindu, that is like main ones are the Diwali and Holi. There is no limit to what you can do. Last time they also focused on the different provinces of Pakistan, and they were dressed accordingly. Sindh, Balochi and all that, and they did you can focus on their food, their culture, their way of, they have their, even the dances are different and so on. So culture is full of color and a lot of activity. That almost brings us to the end of that. I already have spoken to you about your test, projects. Once again, look at the projects. It's all related to language, and these are low cost, no cost cartons. Carton boxes are used to make huge storybooks, and look at that. As you can see, even in your school, language is actually written with the balloon, and everything that is here as part of the decoration is totally related to language. Okay, so for that, they already, let's give them a big round of applause. Honestly speaking, because remember, I am neutral. If you see, I am nowhere in any of the presentation, and each subject, each presentation, each branch, each student, each of our entire staff they are equally important to me. So the words we meanings, even when sir comes, Mrs. Shamim, whatever we see, we say. It has nothing to do. A unique style, and it makes them themselves 100%. I something tells me, you know how things, even Maria Montessori used to get a feeling. With all due respect, that was Maria Montessori. But today somehow I'm getting a feeling that this language is going to be something very special. So language, and I don't know when they are going to do whatever they're going to do. We're supposed to be calling the volunteers also. The volunteers are all the volunteers from Zamzama branch who are representing language come for a group photo. That is through introduction. Plus Miss Sadia, the coordinator, who just recently joined us. And on duty, the coordinator today is also Miss Sonam. So please, this is the language team, the master trainers, Asma Naeem, Nusrat Bakar, all the volunteers, along with the coordinator, plus the other coordinator on duty today, Miss Sonam, that you see every day. And they have done this hall decoration. That is quality work, because you're going to have carefully and see how it is related. Look at the hats, look at the whatever there is available. And special thanks to all the branches who as a team, without any hesitation, without any competition, have brought their own language work. And what you see in display is LMI, all branches there. And that's beautiful. That is what Montessorians is all about. So this is it. Let's welcome them. And now you can go back. And it would be Mrs. Asma Naeem for the introduction to language lecture. Asma Naeem.
We could not prepare due to the shortage of time. They just brought it and they said, ma'am, whatever you want, ma'am, whatever you want. So it is there. Thank you once again, everyone. And plus, you remember what I told you? And when I had come for the first lecture and I was praising the EPL team, I really had gone into depression. And the other day, a very beautiful girl, adorable, Reem, she called up and she said, ma'am, I want to join in. So then Sabahat came along and they are the jinns. Supernaturals. Then we had Memuna, we had Ambar, Reem, Sabahat, Adiba, Noor, Memuna and Sanudia. It's a new name. So they were together and they were here till 6 o'clock. And I wonder, like they were handful, 6 people. And they work like a army, a whole army. The cutting of birds, then hanging it. Allah keep your strength like this forever and stay blessed. I'm really proud of you. I never had this in my mind that I'll be having such a great team. Sadia, not to forget, she is a new addition in LMI, but I'm really very happy that we have very productive people with us. So today we'll be talking about language, and we'll begin with something very, very interesting. Okay, so put up your mobiles and wear your slippers, put your feet down, because I had taken a round, so everybody was quite relaxed. So sit like good children, you'll be having fun, inshallah. So when we talk about development of language, so language is actually something which comes to you very naturally. But there are certain things that we have to keep in mind, that our brain is structured for language development. Like there is the blueprint there, and the brain, what does it do? Some circuits are there, and the brain cells are there, identifying the sounds only, right? And you have to keep talking, no Urdu word, no English word, right? At least for 3 minutes. listen to her very patiently and very attentively, okay?
Kul to sordine je beshal yeyam ke iteulo ja barenam burchua alesan bilum itegane ja rai di mi kholo ruwa se beya balke hale no routine enjoy tase gane esum ja mada ja amiesan mo ke besan shias bikeshi to iteulo ja masan ke beya ja rozan osen ba to itegane je mo nias ba आती है
You heard her, but I was not able to understand even a word. Only I could focus on was, what could you focus on? The sounds only. And what were the peculiar sounds, most distinct sounds that you can remember? Sh, ja, kha. Right? So your mind is capable of targeting the sounds. So when we talk about the development of language, there is an order, the sequence. It just does not happen haphazard, or it just does not happen overnight or just like that. That one day the child is sleeping, when he gets up, he starts speaking. There is an order. Because there is sensitive period, right? No? So the sensitive period for language is there. And it is said that the child is sensitive to the sounds even before birth, 10 weeks earlier, prenatal stage. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that we'll talk about the preparations and all the necessary steps that we have to keep in mind, how to enrich the vocabulary. But the first thing is that the child is sensitive to the sounds even before birth. And then sounds. And when the child is born, 2 to 3 months, when you talk to him, when you call his name, he is sensitive to his name. Wherever the sound comes from, the human sound, he is bound to turn his head. Okay? At 2 months, the child is, and the absorption is there, the storage is there to the subconscious level of the mind. The sounds are experience. No fairy tales. For a particular time period. After 6, we can, because then the child is able to distinguish, understand that this is real and this is not real. And he is able to comprehend. And after that, I am going to leave that to Ma'am Nusrat, because I think let's welcome Ma'am Nusrat. She'll tell you whatever she has to, but I'll ask her to talk about the strategies that we have in Montessori, and then.
Well, Ma'am Asma talked about language, right? I have a very favorite incident, without which I think the language lecture would be incomplete. Now, when you talk about language, whatever language you are giving in the environment, the child is going to develop. It depends, you have 1 language, 2 language or 3 language. The child is going to develop them with the same intensity. You cannot say that only 1 language is enough. Give the child as much as you can, because the child is hungry for language. He wants to take in as much as you can give it. As Asma was saying, when you talk to the child of 6 months old, he is going to respond. He is giving a very rapturous smile. He is very happy because the child wants to develop language, and you are giving that child that thing. So he starts giving that response. And as you all know, that a dumb child, a deaf child, can never talk. He'll always be dumb. What is the reason for that? Because when he has not heard anything, how is he going to develop that? You know, these are not things that we are discussing today. These are not things that only Maria Montessori discussed. This was long back in history that these things started. Can you remember? Do you know where this quarrel, where this argument took place? That language is what is given in the environment, and one was saying no. Language comes from, the child brings the language from the mother's womb, while there was other who was saying it comes from the environment. Can you guess from where this quarrel took place? Quarrel means jhagda, conflict. From where did this conflict take place? Do you know? Might be before that also, but I am telling something which I know. This quarrel, this argument, this conflict took place between Akbar in the court, and Akbar said, the conflict started when Akbar said, language is something which the child takes it from the environment and it does not come from the mother's womb. Mother tongue doesn't mean that the child is speaking Urdu. The mother is speaking Urdu and the child will be born. The minute the child will be born, say, "Hi mama, how are you? Fine, thank you for bringing me in this world." No, he has to develop it. So this argument started taking place, and it got turned into such a hot argument that an experiment was decided.